The Senate Wednesday summoned the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso to appear on Tuesday to explain the free fall of the Naira. Cardoso is to appear before the Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions to answer questions on the Naira and the state of the economy. The committee, chaired by Senator Adetokunbo Abiru, at its meeting resolved to summon the CBN governor on the way out. Speaking with newsmen after the meeting, Abiru said the meeting was held essentially to focus on the direction of the Nigerian economy. He said everyone is a living witness to what is going on in the country, stressing that underlying the major issue of the economy is the way the inflation index has been. Abiru said the happening in the country is a major concern for the lawmakers. And according to him, members of the committee had deliberated among themselves, saying that critical issues were addressed. And he believed that the next line of action was to summon the governor of the central bank to brief them properly on the state of the economy. He said the lawmakers had resolved and would communicate to the governor of the central bank, after which they would have further communication with the journalist. And looking at this particular topic and the way it is, they say that the reason for them to summon Cardoso is for them to talk about the economic issues in Nigeria, the inflation index and all that. And what we want to ask, I would like to ask Barrister Darlington this morning. They say that it's no longer a new thing. Everybody in Nigeria actually is suffering it. But do you think the CBN or think that Governor of Central Bank Cardoso actually should be held responsible for the economic crisis in Nigeria?
No, I don't think the CBN should be blamed, because decisions were taken by Tinubu before he was appointed. You remember when he said there would be free fall of the Naira, or that the Naira will not be capped, you know, that they should allow to have a free flow with the dollar without any backup. Before you can do that, according to economic experts, you must have a backup. You must make sure that your economy is producing, so that all the shock absorbers will be there to hold your Naira from falling backwards. But there was nothing. You just decided on your own. Just the same thing with this subsidy removal. All the decisions that Tinubu took, there was no rational thinking about it. And that is why we are where we are today, that they are borrowing money now. That thing I was telling you about, shocking the Naira. They now want to go and borrow money to shock, to prop up the Naira. And it's not working, because those things are not sustainable economically. You need to be productive. That is the only way your economy can improve, your Naira can improve. But all these things were not on ground before Tinubu took that decision. The CBN governor just came in to meet what was on ground. So he's grappling with something that is bigger than him. That's why they are borrowing money right, left, and center. You see? So I don't think summoning the man will make any difference. So
all right. Yeah.
Okay.
It will not, because one, the thing that will make the economy to grow, they are not there. Look at lights. Some companies are closing shop and moving out of Nigeria. So where is the production base coming from? Tell me any economy that has grown without production. Mention one economy. So let them do the needful and stop disturbing the CBN governor. It's not his fault.
All right.
Okay. I'm going to come straight to you, Mr. Nick, and I think you're still with us. Now, just a couple of days ago, the CBN ordered the banks to release all of the dollars with them. And of course, that went into the tune of $5 billion. Now, the question about calling the CBN governor, the concerns are the fact that the dollar is nosediving every single day. In the wake up of all of this released by the banks, particularly about the dollars now, there was a slight reduction from $1,500 in the parallel market to $1,485 thereabouts. Now my question is, will the summoning of the CBN governor and the position of the Senate change the narrative as to how the dollar depreciates even further?
Thank you very much for that question.
I think the National Assembly summoning the central bank governor to come to explain the reason why the Naira is rapidly losing strength against the dollar is in place. It's one of their functions to have oversight functions over the ministries, departments, and agencies of government. But it is incomplete because the economy breathes on two lungs. There's the lung of monetary policy, which the CBN is in charge of, but there's also the other lung, which is fiscal policy, which the Minister of Finance is in charge of. It is a combination of both monetary policy and fiscal policy that leads to the exchange rate that we are seeing today. So if the National Assembly believes that they have to do something about this exchange rate, then they need to call both actors to a meeting. The central bank alone cannot do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I can give you a few examples.
Go ahead.
Nigeria's population of 200 million people plus, on a daily basis as we see today, is being supplied with 3,000 megawatts of electricity. That is not a central bank issue. It's a fiscal policy issue.
Exactly.
3,000 megawatts of electricity is not going to jumpstart this economy.
Exactly.
People have to understand this.
Oh.
You understand? India is supplying 400,000 megawatts of electricity to their economy every day. And there are 1.4 billion people, which is 7 times the population of Nigeria. If India were to be supplied electricity at the same rate that Nigeria is supplying its economy, it will be 7 times 3,000 megawatts. We will be supplying India with 21,000 megawatts. The Indian economy would have been made to run on 21,000 megawatts of electricity. That is Nigeria's rating for supply of electricity. But the Indian economy is receiving 400,000 megawatts. If only the government of Nigeria creates the enabling environment that Nigeria even begins to receive 10,000 megawatts of electricity, you begin to see wonders happening in this economy. By the time we get to 50,000 megawatts, this economy is going to jump. And we will not even be talking about exchange rate. We'll be talking about exchange rate when we'll be producing so much that we are consuming, meaning the demand for dollars is now reduced, and we'll be exporting, meaning we are not going to increase supply of dollar to the economy. Why do we take pleasure in attacking the symptoms without looking at the causes? Why?
Exactly.
Why is the members of the National Assembly not asking that for a manufacturer, for a producer of goods and services in Nigeria, if you approach the banks, you are going to get interest on a loan you want to take of 30 to 35%, 40%. Who takes a loan at that rate and survives? In countries that are doing well, that rate of interest will be like 5%. 5% interest, you take it, you commit it into a productive venture, and the economy will start moving. You know, so apparently the members of the National Assembly don't understand that this insecurity that we have been talking about is affecting the economy.
Exactly.
I mean, who is the investor in their rightful mindset will bring their foreign direct investment into Nigeria at this point where when people are kidnapped, the kidnapped victims are the ones that will raise ransoms to go and pay. And that National Assembly has a bill before them that if you raise that ransom, we are going to criminalize you, arrest you, try you, and jail you.
Exactly.
And foreign investors are hearing that, and they are like, if we take our money there, they kidnap our staff. Government
upon that, they will not prosecute you again.
All right, so we unfortunately we're having that glitch in the network with Nick Agule. We'll have to focus
Don't,
on.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay, he's back.
go ahead, Nick.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mr. Nick.
The network is bad.
All right, the network is
Can you
really
hear
bad.
me?
Yes,
Yes,
you can. Go
yes, we
ahead.
can. All right.
Exactly. So the earlier we begin to fight the causes of these problems, the better. Fighting inflation, fighting exchange rate, these are just cosmetics. We
All
are
right, so
fighting
let
the
me
symptoms
stay with
and
you
not
for
touching
a
the
little bit
causes.
on this one. Let me just stay with you for a little bit on this one. Now, the biblical saying that one will chase 1,000, two will chase 10,000 seems to be the case with Nigeria's Naira and the dollar right now. Because $100 is going for about 1,500, gradually going to about 2,000. And some Nigerians are saying, if it gets there, what then will become of the Nigerian economy? Oh well, in the immediate now, I know you've talked about production being a way out of strengthening the Naira against the dollar. But immediately, like right now, with your experience as an accountant, what are those things that is it the government or the CBN or individuals? Well, I don't think I don't think individuals have the power to do anything. But the government and the CBN, what are those things that they can do to fortify the Naira against the dollar right now and find a way to beef up the economy a little bit? I'm talking intermediate now.
Okay, so in the immediate, there are a couple of measures the government can take, and this is purely advisory. It's for them to take them or not.
Yes, of course.
The first measure, of course, is that as the price of the dollar is rising, now topping 1,500, like you have said, it shows that the demand for dollar is more than the supply of dollar in the Nigerian economy. So if the government has a stash of dollars somewhere, they can bring those dollars into the market to augment the supply of dollars. And that is going to help bring down the exchange rate. But I don't think the government of Nigeria has the dollars. The central bank used to do that. But I don't think they have the dollars. So one of the immediate things that President Tinubu can do is this. The biggest source of dollar earnings in Nigeria is the sale of crude oil. And the sale of crude oil, as we speak today, is in the hands of the NNPC. The NNPC takes crude oil produced on behalf of Nigeria. This is not crude oil produced by the NNPC. I hope people understand the difference. Nigeria has invested in crude oil production with international oil companies. It's called joint ventures. So Nigeria is in a joint venture with Shell, with Mobil, with Total. And Nigeria is paying money so that Shell and Co will produce crude oil. When they produce crude oil, they give Nigeria its own share of crude oil. The NNPC is the one that takes all this share of Nigeria's crude oil and sells them in the international market. The NNPC collects the proceeds. They now spend it. What is left is what they now hand over to Nigeria, which is terrible because the NNPC is a business. They should go and be doing their own business and making money. So President Tinubu in the immediate can sign an executive order or simply just give an order that Nigeria's crude oil dollars should no longer go to the NNPC. Nigeria crude oil dollars should go straight to the central bank, and Nigeria will now begin to have dollars. That means NNPC will no longer have access to our dollars to be spending. They will be forced to go and repair their refineries so that they will now be selling petroleum products and making their money. Okay. That's another measure.
All right. Thank you very much.
The other measure is that President Tinubu should ban foreign travel. President Tinubu should ban foreign travel by all government officials. If we don't travel for the next 1 year, we will not die. If President Tinubu himself and ministers and whoever in government don't leave this country for the next 1 year, we will not die.
But how will that beef up the Naira against the dollar?
They are spending
Okay, so
money.
when they are going, we take Naira and buy dollar to give them. Their flight ticket is in dollar, their hotel accommodation, their extra code, everything is in dollars. So if they don't travel, that means we are not going to be chasing the dollar again to pay all those their costs. The demand for dollar will reduce. I mean, this solution will be, there are two solutions to this dollar crisis. One, reduce the demand for dollars. Two, increase the supply of dollars. So I am talking about the demand now. If there is no travel, then the whole gamut of demand for dollars will be gone. I'm talking about immediate things. This is something that can be done even today. Because if you ask me for more fundamental things, I will talk about the refineries, I talk about agriculture, I talk about all those kind of things, steel plants and all of that. We're talking about things that can be done today. Remove NNPC's hand from our dollars so that central bank gets the proceeds direct.
Okay.
Stop foreign travel, reduce demand of, so the NNPC one is increased supply of dollars. Stop foreign travel is reduced demand for dollars. They are immediate, very immediate, that you will see.
Okay,
So
Mr.
if
Nick,
we are to sacrifice, let everybody sacrifice.
Mr. Nick,
Yes.
as an accountant, we've been talking about this dollar thing, whereas other foreign currencies are actually, their rates is increasing. For example, pounds and others, like 2,000 or something like that to Naira. And I know you all these indices and you know the calculation well. And there's another undertone that International Monetary Fund and even the World Bank actually have one or two to do with the issue we're having in Nigeria over the fact that they are the ones that even advised the president to pull out the subsidy. The World Bank, lauded him, the president, for this one. In like 1 minute or thereabout, can you actually help us, tell us the foreign banks and the foreign entities having an affair or a say in our economy? Can you tell us what those things actually stand to do in Nigerian economy?
No, I agree with International Monetary the fuel subsidy thing was fuel subsidy. That is fine, but then what are you applying the process that you are getting from that? The unification of the exchange rate was also fine, but do you know what? The exchange rate has not been unified.
All right, then. Unfortunately, we'll have to end this
Right now, as we
conversation
speak,
here.
the
Okay.
government exchange rate is about 800, Nigeria rate is about 15.
All right. Thank you very much, Nick Agule, for your thoughts there. Unfortunately, we'll have to wrap this conversation up. We'll get back to this one sometime in the future, of course. We do know. Barrister,
Yes.
let's get your concluding thoughts.
For me, the immediate thing Tinubu must do to ban this black market.
Okay.
They are constituting a nuisance to our economy.
The Bureau de Change operators?
Yes, they should close them down. Let all transactions begin and end with the banks. That is what I feel. That is what should be done.
Okay.
Then two, you see this joint venture, for God's sake, when are we going to be independent as a nation? You mean at 63 going to 64? Nigerian crude is in the hands of foreigners. My dear, have you considered what we are losing to these people on daily basis? You mean we don't have the technology? Is it the technology or the manpower or I don't know. What is it that Nigeria cannot afford so that they can be doing their own thing like US, UK, China? Are they doing joint venture with Mobil and Shell? They are doing it on their own. Look at how much we are losing to these oil majors.
Right,
It's a lot of money, a lot, because they are not dictating for us. If we don't agree, they will pack and go. Then what happened to your oil industry? Because that's our own cash cow. You can see they are holding us by the jugular. That is why they are not dictating the pace.
All right. Barrister,
It's a very wrong thing to do.
Barrister,
I'm telling you, very wrong thing.
And this is where we have to anchor
These are
this
things
conversation.
Tinubu should have done.
Well,
Instead of removing subsidy.
We must say very big thank you to you, Barrister Darlington Agumor, for staying with us on the program, and also a big thanks to Nick Agule for your thoughts and contribution as well. Well, this is where we anchor this conversation. But the program continues. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll get into business, and that will be followed by entertainment and sports. So, hey, stay with us. Don't go nowhere.
When your morning starts,